Ready when you are. Boss.
Brother?
2018. So there was a lot of uncertainty going on in my life before I went to E.C.A in 2018. I had just lost my hearing in my right ear, which was going to affect my current job at the time. I thought, what am I going to do next? I believe, in my opinion, I had an identity job, which is just pretty much my life revolved around it. And I was like, I need something for me, something that I can help people with. Because I didn't, no offense to anyone that does do jobs, but like I didn't want to work in a factory. I didn't want to just like disappear. So I thought, I do like the gym. I do like everything to do with fitness. It's changed my life dramatically. So why can't I implement that? I originally went and spoke to a friend, and he was like, you know, you have to go to university. And I was like, seriously, like I haven't got 3-4 years, and I'm not that way inclined to go and do an educational course like that. I'm more of a hands-on, and that's why I rang Lenny. Before I joined E.C.A, obviously with my upbringing and stuff, you know, I came from a council estate and stuff, so money was always, you always thought everything was expensive. And when he first told me the price, I remember I gulped. I think you heard it over the phone. But I went away from it and I spoke to my now wife. I was like, this is something that I really want to do. And she was like, well, why don't you just go and take a wee loan from the credit union? And at the time I was all against lending because you hear so many bad stories. And I was like, you know what, this is a risk I'm willing to take. And when you look back on it, it wasn't a massive amount of money. Well, it wasn't even, because at the end of the day, this is what I do for a living now. And I always hear people saying investing in yourself is the best investment I've ever made, ever. Well, when I first came, I was very backward, if that makes sense. I didn't want anyone to know what my job was. I was in the army for quite a number of years. I went as a postman, and I was always like, oh, I only want to learn this for myself. I never fully admitted to myself that, you know, I wanted to be a personal trainer because there was so much stigma attached to them. But it turned out I had just been looking at the wrong guys. And whenever I got to know like Lenny and PJ and all the ones on my course, I was like, you know, this is actually a community that I want to be a part of, because these guys generally want to help. They're not just fake tanned and full of steroids and stuff. This is actual people who want to make a difference in the world. So then I openly admitted halfway through the course, like, yeah, I'm going to own a gym someday. And here we are. Education is phenomenal. Like, there's nowhere that has this type of course. Probably the fact that we always say, we have like a wee thing in here, myself and Stuart, where we're like, you know, you do everything as if Lenny's on your shoulder. And trust me, he will be. The aftercare with E.C.A is phenomenal. Like, how many times was I on the phone to you after I left my course? I was like, Lenny, what do I do now? They do generally care. They do care about you. They're not like I always get told off for not treating my gym like a business. I treat it like a hangout centre where everyone comes to hang out, and I always care and I always want to go that extra mile. These guys will do that for you, honestly, they will. So I had worked in other gyms, and I believed that I was in the wrong environment for what I wanted to do. It was all seemed to be, I know it sounds really bad, all real high end, and it was all transformations, and I started to see the effect it had on people. So I was like, you know what, I want to do my thing. I want to have people concentrate more on their health. I want to be able to take people to beaches and thrash them for hours on end. I wanted it to be mine. I wanted to run it how I perceived I would help people better. We do a lot with mental health in here too. And it was terrifying. I was leaving the army and I just got married, and the pandemic was in full force back when it was really scary. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to double down here. I could be an online coach because everyone was doing it. But even speaking to Lenny and watching some people's stories, I was like, you know what, all I need to do is do this better. As Lenny always says, the cream always rises to the top. So I did it better. And by the time we were able to open the gym and stuff, I had like 80 members online that were all willing to come to a facility. So I had to make it one of the best in the local area. Just having that knowledge and having the confidence to do it, because I had that certificate on the wall. Like, we have them all placed upstairs. I know people say certificates isn't everything, but just having the confidence of having that education behind me, where, you know, I'm not going to say it. No, I am. I'm better than most people because I've done the right course. I think the biggest uncertainty was probably keeping people. You don't get a wage. Like, it's not like you get a monthly wage for doing 40 hours a month. You're doing a lot more hours. But if somebody isn't happy with your service, they're going to leave. And then that takes part of your income with it. And I wanted to do it all myself. I thought, look, if I haven't got any overheads, any other coaches to pay, then it's okay, because I only need to sort myself out. that's probably the wrong way to work things. And it wasn't long after that that I got my head coach, Stuart, who also done his course at E.C.A. He came in and he just took over most of the gym floor so that I could concentrate on growing. And gee, that was probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
You came back to E.C.A.
I did.
Put all of your coaches through the course.
Every one of them.
You came back and you joined the E.C.A. Mastermind. What were you skeptical of before you joined the Mastermind?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Not a big pile. I think I was just looking at other gyms, and I went to other mentors between those two periods of times. I was like, I really like what they're doing. It's sort of similar to what I'm doing, but it wasn't the perfect fit. And then I went to the Elite Summit, and I was like, wow, I love the ambition that Lenny has. Like, you know, he's changing the world of fitness. I was like, I could probably just get onto his coattails now and see what we can do. And he made me look at things differently, whereas everyone else was looking at, you know, profit and getting more people through the door and just ramping up memberships. And I was like, that's not what I'm about. And it wasn't long into the E.C.A. Mastermind where they actually asked me what I wanted. And I was like, I want to spend more time with my daughter, my wife. I want to be able to sleep soundly at night and not worry about, you know, the next payments coming through. And I was only in it a month and they had flipped my whole mindset on everything. And that's probably the biggest takeaway from that. How can I make this a career for a long time? Like, there was times my hair was falling out in the shower and I was like, what's going on? It was stress, because I was stressing, but just been on this, I don't even know how long I've been on this mastermind, 6-7 months.
Yeah.
And like, I can already see 10, 15 years down the line, and we're doing recon, and that's something I've always wanted to do, but I didn't really think I could do it. But like, we're a couple of months away from that, and it's going to be epic. Personal trainers who want to, I don't want to say the word level up, but who want to take the next step. Going from a personal trainer to a gym owner there's two completely different jobs. So anyone who wants to know how to do it properly, you're going to skip out a few steps. Like, I had to go through the mistakes, and like, they were some pretty costly mistakes that I made. If you want to get from A to C, go straight in, work the E.C.A., let them do their magic, and you'll skip out that whole mistake where I made in B. It cost me a fortune.